Assalamu alaikum, wherever you're joining from. Oman, yep, Romania, perfect, good. How are you? Where are you joining us from? How are you feeling this evening? How has the Global Teachers Festival been so far for you? Hopefully all has been well. I was with you all, if you were with us, on Wednesday. We had a lot of fun at the debate. Hopefully you were there. So, Macmillan Education's Global Teachers Festival 2026. And what a festival it has been so far. Do you have a favorite session from this first week? Maybe you can let us know what that might be. The thumbs ups and the hearts letting us know that you, I think, have been having a good time. All these wonderful countries. I was just mentioning that a lot of people come even in the early hours from the Americas, from South America, from Mexico. And one of our speakers today is from your part of the world, so I'm sure you will all be tuning in to watch him. So we are coming to the end of week one. It is Friday afternoon. It's Friday evening for me. My name is Nathan. I'm one of the teacher trainers for Macmillan Education. I'm hosting today, and I'm joining you from the sunny city of Dubai. I'm sure for a lot of you, it's winter, probably not that sunny, but for others, it might be warm and pleasant. We're coming to the end of week one, and let's have a little look at what's coming up for you after the weekends. So next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, look at all these wonderful speakers and look at the amazing topics that they're going to be covering. Looking at agency in the classroom, thinking about generation AI. Ooh, AI, always a big topic. Looking forward to that on Tuesday. I will be hosting again on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to the expression session. We've got two wonderful speakers on Wednesday. I can't wait to see these guys. They're always so engaging and full of positivity. So it's going to be a really upbeat day on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to that. Thursday, inclusion, a lot around universal design for learning, a hot topic at the moment. And then on Friday, we're going to be looking at challenge and finishing off with our plenaries. So that's next week. If you haven't registered, please do. I know the registration is much more simple now. You can just register for all the days that you wish to join in one go, which is great. So many hellos coming through, a lot of people. I haven't seen how many people are here, actually. There's a lot. Okay, the first thing to mention, as always, is our certificate of attendance and your virtual goodie bag, which will arrive within 2 weeks. So give us a little bit of time. 2 weeks is what we're asking for. Keep watching your email, check out the spam. If you don't hear after 2 weeks, let's say towards 3 weeks, then you can email this. If you want to take a screenshot, you can right now. That's the contact if you want to reach out because you don't receive your certificates or your follow-ups. So let's think about the plan for today. So we mentioned a lot of cool topics for next week, but this week we are finishing off the week by looking at leadership. And we have two fantastic speakers. We are actually going to be flipping the order today. We've got a few technical difficulties, so Nora's kindly agreed to go first. But we're going to be looking at leadership. What is a humanist leader? What does that mean? What does that mean in the context of education? And we're also going to be looking at the enrollment toolkit, which is building trust, value, and visibility in your institution. So we are not going to do the keynote first. We're going to do the keynote second. And we won't recharge our batteries. We're going to go straight to Nour Barazi. So I've worked personally with Nour before. She delivered a wonderful session. I really enjoyed the one that we worked on together. I think at the beginning of 2025, I think it was now, wasn't it? A year ago, pretty much now. God, a year flies by, doesn't it, Nour? So Noor leads the English Language Center at Jeddah International College in KSA in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and she contributes to the employee development unit there. And she's an ELT leader and self-trainer. She's got over 10 years of experience in school improvement and enhancing learner outcomes, and she supports institutions right across the Middle East and North Africa with teacher training programs, design of that, and strategies for student attraction and retention. So a very, very warm welcome to you this evening. Noor, how are you doing?
Thank you, Nathan. I'm doing just fine. Thank you so much.
Good. I don't know if you want to add anything to that. I don't know if they asked you to add anything this morning. Is there anything you want to announce about yourself? Anything interesting? Well, you have a personal hobby. You got any good hobbies?
I love fishing. I know it's weird, but
Fishing.
yes,
Okay.
I really enjoy fishing.
Like deep sea fishing, like off a boat, or like river
Yes,
fishing, or deep sea fishing.
jigging, if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I come from the UK, and it's a big fishing part of the world. So yeah, I'm not a huge fisher. I like to stay on dry land, and
Mm.
yeah. But yeah, what a great thing to do. Amazing.
Yeah,
There you go. We learned something
thank
about
you.
you today.
Thank
Amazing.
you so much.
So, Nora, I'm going to pass over to you. Good luck with your session, not that you need it. And I will be watching the Q&A. I will watch the chat. You are free to interact with the chat as you wish, as you go through. If you want to deliver and then address the questions at the end, that's also perfectly fine. But I will monitor, and if I see anything interesting to talk about at the end, we'll have 5 or 10 minutes for a few of the questions or a short chat around those questions. Is that okay?
Thank you so much. Yes,
Perfect.
perfect.
I will
Thank you.
stop sharing so you can screen share. I wish you all the best, and I will see you in a little while.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the warm welcome. I also would like to thank Nathan and Macmillan for this opportunity. I'm really happy to be here and seeing so many people from around the world. We have so far, 650 people, so that's amazing. I'm from Damascus, which is the capital of Syria. It's one of the oldest cities in the world. But I live in sunny Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. I also work here. Um, I've worked as a CELTA center manager and a CELTA tutor. I'm the head of the English language program at Jeddah International College. I'm an ELT consultant and I work in the learning and development unit, working on developing staff and faculty. I did the Cambridge Delta, an MA in TESOL, and also the associate CIPD level 5 for learning and development. Now, let's see what we're going to discuss today. We're going to see how we can attract and retain students effectively, increase visibility and trust, strengthen institutional value, and improve enrollment and retention. Now, we have a short poll. Let's see. Don't be afraid to ask the hardest question. If you were a student or parent today, would you choose your school or institution? Yes, no, or maybe. Let's see if we can answer in the poll. You don't have to answer in the chat because you don't want your colleagues to see that. Okay. You can answer in the poll because it's anonymous. Thank you. Okay. Awesome. So much positivity. Okay. I'm so glad to see so many yeses. That's amazing. Now, I'd like to talk about this. Decision fatigue. Give me a thumbs up if you've scrolled more than you've watched on your streaming device or streaming app. See how many thumbs up? That's cool. Now, parents or modern parents face the same decision fatigue that we face or experience when with streaming devices or services. Endless options, limited time, and information overload. In this crowded landscape, families don't necessarily choose the best school. They choose the one they can trust and notice first. So let's talk about building trust. In the chat, type one thing that parents or students usually worry about before trusting a school. And when I say school here, I mean it in a broad perspective. Maybe it's a language school, maybe it's an elementary school, a college, a language institute. Yes, safety. Yes, parents. What do they worry about? Quality, good one. Yes, results. Great. So here's my list, and it looks like you've prepared it with me because most of your answers are on my slide. Let's see. So parents worry, or students worry about outcomes, safety, yes, fees, quality, college readiness or future readiness, and teachers. I'd like you to notice how none of these are marketing issues. They are trust issues. If schools try to sell before answering these questions or dealing with these concerns clearly and visibly, parents or students hesitate. So trust comes first and enrollment follows. In other words, you don't lose students because of weak marketing. You lose them because of trust gaps. They go unanswered. Now, so these are the things to reduce parents' or students' fear. Explain your placement test or your admission criteria or your application criteria. Explain progression and outcomes clearly to your students. Train staff to give the same message. So you want your staff as an admin and faculty to give the same message that you're giving on your website or that you're giving on your Instagram. So set realistic expectations because clarity builds trust. Do not overpromise results and say, oh, if your student or if your child studies with us, they can be admitted into Harvard. If you take our course, you'll score 6 on IELTS, unless you can actually deliver that result. So avoid changing rules midway, because when you do change, people, you lose their trust. And also avoid vague answers to direct questions. So be prepared if they have a question to have an actual clear answer to their concerns or fears. So, because confused students don't enroll and skeptical parents don't return. Now, building visibility. Attention last, not first. So how come attention is last? Because parents or students don't wake up thinking, ooh, which school has the flashiest post today? They wake up thinking, who can I trust with my child? Or if it's an adult student, who can I trust with my future? So attention is important, but it's not first. So if someone asked you, if someone asked one of your current students about your school, what one word you hope they'd say? So that you're kind. Oh, nice. Safe, friendly, caring. Great answers. Thank you for participating. Fun, safe. Oh, I see a lot of yes. So I want you to notice all these answers, you guys. Notice how none of you said affordable or convenient. Trust is emotional before it's transactional. And most of your answers are about, emotional, safety, happiness, fun, kind. So your reputation as a school, before parents or students ever speak to you, what speaks for you? So can you in the chat type, what speaks for you? I'll give you a hint. What speaks for you before parents or students speak for you? Previous students, that's a good one. The community, yes. Word of mouth, good one. Your achievements, nice. So the first thing that could speak about you or for you is your first Google result. If I search for the name of your school, what's the first Google result that appears? Or maybe nowadays ChatGPT result, but anyways. Now, what's the social, and the second thing that, speaks for you is your social media posts, as Nico said. The third thing is the word of mouth, which you guys also mentioned. We also then have the teachers and finally the students. So when your teachers speak about you, do they tell people, oh, I work in a great place, we do this, we do that? Are they proud to work in this place? And then your students, are they happy? Do they see their results? So all of this speaks for you. So you need to ask yourself, what do we communicate well? What is unclear for students and parents? And where do we overpromise? Now, trust starts before the visit. Before a student or parent contact you, they see, let's see if you can type it. So before they contact you, they see your website clarity, your tone on social media, your response speed. Someone mentioned, responding to emails. So are you responding to questions? Are you responding to emails? Are you responding to comments on social media? Your staff consistency. Is your staff speaking the same language as you? Are your posts on social media reflected in your staff as well? Are your teachers and admins speaking the same language? And then, what others say about you or the word of mouth. So, visibility or what influences our choice is the first digital impression, community reputation, website clarity, student and parent voice, campus experience, and follow-up communication. These are all very important. We're going to talk about the last two in more details. Now, Jeff Bezos says, your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. So your reputation is your brand. You need to reflect if your reputation is strong enough. Now, let's take a look at the student enrollment funnel. It's adapted from the marketing funnel of Kotler and Fox, 1995. I adapted it for the ELT context. Now, visibility. Are you visible to others? Are you raising interest? Are you matching their interest? And are you relevant to them? Consideration. So do people consider you? Enrollment, do they register with you? Retention, after they register and take a course, do they return? And then a value, do they advocate for your place? So what students ask is, who are you? Is this for me? Can I trust you? Is this worth it? If I register, am I going to learn? Am I progressing? After I registered, do I see my progress? Do I know that I improved my level? And would I recommend you to others? Now, what you should do is be visible and consistent. If people have to search hard for you, you're not visible. Show relevance. People don't ask, is this a good school? But they ask, is this good for me or my child? Build confidence. Confidence grows when expectations are clear, when people know what to expect. They feel safe moving forward. Prove your value. Value isn't a promise, it's evidence, outcomes, skills, progress, and real examples. Make progress visible. Progress must be shown, not assumed. Some slogans that colleges or schools or institutions use, like, we're the best, we're the top, but progress must be shown, you know. Show them that your students are reaching the CFR level needed, or they are passing standardized exams. Capture voices, the last one, which is advocacy. When students advocate for you, use real students with real experiences. Now, make your customer the hero of your story. I know that it's controversial to call students customers, and we feel like, oh, no, they're not. But if you're giving a service and they're paying for it, they're somehow customers. But when you use your students in your social media, as in use them as the hero representing your school, try to show stories that are emotional, real, student-led, honest, and outcome-focused. Make sure that your students are the ones appearing on your social media because they are your hero. So visibility is not ads, it's presence. Show real students, not staged photos or photos of people who are not in your school. Avoid "we are the best" language. Share learning moments, not slogans. And post consistently, even once a week if it's possible. Like, post a lot on Instagram or whatever social media is famous in your country. But avoid empty mission statements and avoid silent social media accounts, because silent social media accounts means you're not visible. So if people can't see you, they can't choose you. And people trust people, not institutions. Building value. People ask, what's in it for me if I register in your school or institution? I'd like you to type yes if parents or students can understand your school value in under 30 seconds online. And no, if not yet. So if I Google or search for your school, can I understand your value in under 30 seconds? That's amazing. Wow. So many yeses and some no's. It's good to reflect. So maybe there's a takeaway from this session. Don't feel bad about, if it's a no, because there's always room for progress. Okay. So now your Gen Z is between 14 and 29. So you could have Gen Z students or Gen Z parents. So it depends on what age group are you targeting. But Gen Z are not evaluators. Gen Z are evaluators. They are not followers. They research silently. They compare before contacting you. They test consistency, like website versus Instagram versus WhatsApp. If there's a mismatch, it's a red flag to them. They trust reviews, comments, and posts. They decide before filling the form. So Gen Z, by the time they contact you, they have already made up their mind. They have already decided. And your job is not to persuade them, because your website did the job for you, or your Instagram or your Google reviews did that for you. Your job is to confirm. And how do we confirm? We're going to see in a minute. So what parents or students, what are they looking for these days? If you could tell me, what are they looking for? They want schools that prepare students for university pathways, careers that don't exist yet, real-world tasks. So they want future readiness. Very good. Yes, real life. Exactly, you guys. Future, yes, the future of the students, whether it's an adult, they're thinking of their future, or if it's a parent, they're thinking of their child's future. So, could you tell me one skill your school actively develops beyond academics? Let's see in the chat. So think beyond academics. Very good. Yes, so many. It's like you prepared the slide with me, guys. Actually, you have more than I've prepared, so that's awesome. We're learning from each other. Let's take a look at my list. We have confidence, communication, digital literacy, leadership, problem solving, collaboration, decision making, and career readiness. All like 21st century skills and the 4 C's and all of very good, Safa. Yes, the 4 C's. So parents and students want school that builds skills. These are skills parents talk about, not course titles, right? So how can your school develop those skills? Let's see. Your hidden engine is your people. And by your people, I mean your teachers. They are the heroes in your school. Hiring the right people and developing them is key. So it leads to better quality and better outcomes and stronger trust. Staff development equals enrollment growth. So professional development boosts students' performance, parent satisfaction, reputation, retention, and school image. Give a clap if your school invests in professional development. Wow, so many claps. You're very lucky because that means your school is on the right track. If it's a no, maybe you can, being here means you care about your own professional development. So I will give you a clap. Okay. Now, after talking about, your staff, which is very important, let's talk about after Gen Z researches you and decides to join you, there's step 2, which is they come to your campus. So their on-campus experience is the deciding moment. You could be so flashy online or on social media, but then when they come and visit you, this could shape their decision. So, the visit confirms everything families believe online. So, the key visit factors are warmth, how people greet you, smile, eye contact, tone before any explanation. And then we have your organization as a school or an institute. Are there clear schedules? Are you organized? Is there a smooth flow? No confusion? Are you sending people from one office to the next, and are they running around on your campus to find answers, or is everything organized and clear? So because chaos kills confidence. Next one, student voice. Do students speak naturally about their experience without scripting? I don't know if you guys arrange for students to speak on visits, but if you do, make sure they sound natural and they're not scripting their answers, or sorry, their answers are not scripted. Now, the next one is visual appeal. Is the place clean? It doesn't have to be the fanciest, but is it clean and purposeful? Is it easy to navigate? The spaces need to feel alive, not just nice. And then the tour guide quality. Can people or can your staff answer questions that the students or the parents have? Can they answer real questions or just recite facts? So think of those things. Now, follow-up. So they visited you, they're so happy. Now let's talk about the follow-up. Generic follow-up loses momentum. And personal follow-up builds confidence. If you have a strong follow-up, it should be short, personal, specific, and memorable. Give me a thumbs up if you've seen a boring follow-up email before. That is not personal. It is long, or it's not specific or memorable, right? It doesn't, so follow-up is really important. Look at this statement. Thank you for visiting our school. Can you please rewrite this in the chat using human language? Make it personal, warm, memorable. Let's see, give you a minute to type. Because people remember how you made them feel, especially after they leave. Nice. Yes, but don't use caps because then it seems like shouting. I'm just kidding. Very nice answers, everyone. Yes. So here are some, you have some really good, like, oh, your presence. Oh, good job. Everyone has really good statements. I'll show you mine. They're not better than yours, but those are the ones I prepared. So we hope you felt the energy of our students today. Or something like, thank you for spending time with us today. We hope today gave you a real feel of who we are. And if you could mention their names, that would be great, like make it more personal. And if you can remember something about their child or about them, also mention that. So, value is where enrollment is won or lost. Let's see. Make students' progress visible. Show people your students' skills, their milestones and pathways. Make sure that's clear on your social media. Invest in teacher development. I know that some institutes treat teacher development as optional or invisible. Please invest in it. The retention is affected by it. And ensure the visit confirms the promise. So don't rely on the visit to sell the school, but be prepared before the visit with your social media, during the visit, and after the visit with the follow-up. And so make the follow-up quick, don't make people wait, and personal. So don't send generic or delayed follow-ups. And now, finally, I have a goodie bag for you guys. Let's fill it in with some information that we've discussed. We have the word enrollment, and I would like you to give me one letter for each of these, one word for each of these letters that reflects what we've discussed. Let's start with E. Effort, I love that. Energy, nice. Of course, all of these are excellent answers. Mine could be different. Let's see. Experience. Design every touch point intentionally. First click, first call, first visit, and first follow-up. Make sure it's intentional. Narrative, yes, Nico got it. Tell real student and parent stories, yes. Let's see. R. I have reputation, but real is good. Deliver consistent quality, so families recommend you without being asked. If your quality speaks for you, you've reached the top. Okay. Oh. Outcomes. Who got it? Yes, you guys, good job. Now, show progress clearly. The skills gained, confidence built, and pathways achieved. All of that should be clear on your social media and during the visit. L, learning, yes. Leadership, loyalty. You guys got it. Learning culture. Hire carefully. Make sure you hire the right people, develop continuously, and make teaching quality visible. Yeah, measurable mentorship. Nice. Meaning, answer the Gen Z questions directly. How does this benefit my child or benefit me as an adult student? How does it benefit our future? E. Some of you already mentioned it earlier when we mentioned the first E. It's engagement. Communicate like humans, not institutions. Talk to your students or have your students talk to your audience. Make your communication timely, warm, and personal. N, now and next. Teach today's skills. Today's skills are really important while preparing for what comes next. 21st century skills, college and career readiness. Those are really important. And the last one, T. Liliana got it. Very good. And I can't catch your names. You're typing so quickly, but it's trust. Be transparent, reliable, and consistent. Trust converts interests into enrollment. Good job, everyone. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. I'm ready for the questions. Please follow me on LinkedIn. I would love to connect with you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
I'm just going to give it a second and allow the chat and the hearts just kind of flow. I'm gonna let them go for a minute. We've got time.
I'm happy to answer any questions.
Let's
Thank you
see.
so much, everyone.
I thought there actually wasn't a lot of questions, to be honest.
Okay.
People were just following. I think you were their shepherd and you were just kind of guiding them seamlessly, I think, through the webinar.
Yes, and I really loved your participation, everyone. All your comments. Thank you for sending all those answers. Really great contribution. Thank you.
Yeah, I think a lot of and just like, so much engagement. People just like really sharing their ideas, really getting involved. I agree. I like the little task at the end where you play this little word game with everybody. It's really nice.
Someone is asking how to explain again the now and next in for enrollment, and I just want to say that what I mean is you work on the skills that are needed in the present time. Maybe like, you'll be surprised. I have students who don't know how to type because they're used to using their phones. So they don't know how to type on a keyboard. And we're actually teaching those skills. So the now skills and also maybe skills for the future that they might need in their jobs that don't exist yet.
Yeah, that's important.
I hope that answers your question, Janina.
I think so, yeah. And I mean, somebody's asking about, I guess, measurement. So, are there any management? I don't know. I want to say courses.
To
No, are
measure
there, yeah, that kind of measure the efficacy, I guess, of some of
to
these.
measure enrollment, do you mean?
No, I guess the enrollment would speak for itself, right? I guess if they're happy, they will tell you that, and the enrollment figures would hopefully go up, or you would
If your registration is increasing, that
yeah,
gives
you
you a
notice
good sign.
retention patterns, this type of thing, I guess would speak for itself. But I guess maybe some of the other softer stuff, like I maybe like strategies that you've used to help, because one of the nice things I meant that you've mentioned is this idea of consistency across the teams. I think that came across really strong, and it's a really nice point. Teachers not working in different ways and having different ways to communicate with students. That leadership oversees the kind of unity of that, the kind of clarity of that, the consistency of that. So I don't know
Yes.
whether or not you've when you've done the work with schools in this particular region, whether you've got kind of strategies that you use to kind of help leaders to get teachers on board with that. There might be a bit of resistance, right, to that.
Yes, anything that includes change management needs, needs you need to involve all stakeholders. So teachers, students, you need to hear the voices of everyone involved to be able to better to implement any change.
Yeah.
And also Ty is asking how long to wait for a follow-up. I don't think you should wait. As soon as they leave the school, prepare that text or that email and send it. Definitely. Be timely and quick.
I'm wondering whether that question relates to the certificate or whether that question
Oh,
relates.
okay.
I'm
Because it
not
says,
sure.
how long did you say to wait for the follow-up?
If it's the follow-up to the student, immediately.
Uh-huh.
If it's the follow-up to the webinar, it's 2 weeks.
Or
So there's
maybe they want to, to start the next one. We're
two different
keeping
answers.
Arturo waiting.
Yeah, no, two different answers.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I love some of your. I'm gonna use some of your quotes. I'm gonna steal them. I think I love chaos kills confidence. I'm gonna definitely use that in the future. And I like I think the main one, the key one was people trust people, not institutions. I like this one as well. But
Thank
yes,
you.
future-facing leadership is and such it's such a nice. It was a really nicely flowing session, and it kind of led us through all of these ideas about why it's important to think about your school as a little family, part of a community, that you're all working together, you're all on the same page, and that it's in the interests of what students see as valuable for their futures, which is fantastic. Nour, thank you so much. I'm so glad I got to see you here today. It's been such a pleasure, as always.
Thank you so
You
much.
can
Thank
rest.
you. It's been my
You have
pleasure. And thank you for the opportunity. And I would like to thank the audience for all the participation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, fantastic. I know you have another session, right, later this evening.
Yes, midnight,
A
my time.
late one for you. Okay, so go and take a rest, take a nap.
Okay.
And,
Bye, everyone.
look
Thank
forward to seeing you
you.
next. Thanks, Nour. Okay, I think Noura's going to stop screen sharing. If you want to follow Nour, her QR code was there. If you missed that very quickly because it disappeared, don't worry, you will get the slides and you can see the recording. So I'm sure you can follow up with that later on. If you joined us a little bit late today, don't worry. As always, we will be recording this so you can catch up. We announced at the beginning that we flipped the sessions. So we did Nour's first because we had a few technical issues, which have been resolved now, which is great. And we are looking forward to doing the second session, which is going to be with Arturo in just a few moments. I will share my screen again. There we go. Hopefully you can see my screen. If you weren't with us at the beginning, again, my name is Nathan. I am with Macmillan Education in the Middle East and North Africa, which is where our first speaker, Nour, is based. She's based in Jeddah, and she just delivered a wonderful session on the enrollment toolkits, looking at how you can build trust, value, and visibility in your institutions. And I think I'm going to see if Arturo is in the background. We do have a couple of minutes, so let's take 2 minutes, shall we? Have a little break. If you get up, you can have a good stretch. I've got some tea. If you need to go and get a coffee, you need to go and get some tea, please feel free. We'll take 2 minutes and then we will start with our second session. Sorry, Arturo, just as you kind of popped onto the screen. Let's give people 60 seconds.
It's
Go and
okay.
have a little stretch.
Yeah.
We all need a little
Okay.
stretch sometimes, I think,
Yes.
in these long
Yeah, we
sessions.
definitely do.
While
Yes.
they're stretching and collecting their tea, Arturo, how are you?
Good, good. Thank you. Yes. I woke up early this morning, earlier than usual. So
Yeah,
yeah, I've been ready since 4 o'clock in the morning, my time.
ooh, that is an early start, 4 o'clock.
Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
that's
Which gave me a chance to, kind of get things ready for to end the week and get a few things ready sorted out for the session as well.
yeah, wonderful. And it's a Friday, so we've got the weekend
Yeah,
ahead,
it's Friday.
which is
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, my last session is around 3 o'clock today, is my time. So,
that's
after that, then it's officially, the weekend.
yeah. It would have been harder if you had the Monday session, right? 4 a.m. start on a Monday morning. That's a tough one.
Yeah, but we don't do that every day. So,
Of course.
why
And
not?
we're
Yeah.
educated, so we're committed to the cause. So
Yes, that's right.
right, I'm going to move things around a little bit. Give me 1 second.
Yes,
So I need to go backwards, not forwards on the slides. So
that's right. Yeah.
there we go. Okay, hopefully everybody is back. To give Arturo a little bit more time, we can, I think, get going. So we are going to finish off this afternoon's session with our keynote. As mentioned at the beginning, the theme for today's Global Teachers Festival is all around leadership. And our keynote is going to be this question: what does it mean, or what does being a humanist leader mean? We're joined today by Arturo Hernandez, who's joining us from Guadalajara in Mexico.
That's right.
And he's got a strong focus on educational leadership and innovation with 30 years of experience. It's a lot in language teaching. You're serving as the National Academic Director for Language Centers.
That's right.
I'm going to let you say that. Tecnológico de Monterrey.
Monterrey. That's right.
Arturo, it's a pleasure to have you with us, joining us from Mexico. How are you this evening? We asked Nour at the very beginning to tell us something extra about herself. She actually enjoys fishing, which was really interesting. What about yourself? What can you tell us? Give us one interesting fact.
Well, actually, I spend my time, you won't believe it, but I love electronic music. I'm a fan of a few DJs around the world.
Okay.
And I love cooking and baking. So those are the two things that I really enjoy the most on the weekends when I have time to do them, of course.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you bake to electronic music. So I wonder what they come out like. They must come out as pretty jazzy
Yeah.
cupcakes that come out.
Actually, while I'm baking and cooking, I listen to my favorite, electronic music DJ. So
Of course,
yeah,
yeah. That's what it's
that's a
for,
great
right?
combination.
So
Yeah,
how did
that's
you get
right.
into baking? Like you mentioned to me in the backstage that you've got a daughter. Do you have any other daughters?
Yes, I have a daughter and I have a son as well. So they are, grown-up kids now,
Okay.
and they are bilingual as well. So yeah, I'm proud of that as well.
Yeah, amazing. I'm also working on that with my daughter. She's very young, 20 months, but
Yeah, so don't get discouraged. You'll see, the results when they grow up.
yes, her mom is from Colombia, so
Oh,
she's becoming bilingual very well at the moment. I'm very happy with her for
yes,
that.
being bilingual is such an asset these days. So
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
don't give up.
I like the things they look. So if you cook, you've got a happy wife, and I don't know if you bake. I mean, even better, right? Yeah,
Yes,
amazing.
yeah. The whole family is really happy when cookies are around.
Yeah, nice. Okay, Arturo, let's get back to business. We're looking forward to listening to your keynote this afternoon. I will keep an eye on the Q&A and the chat box, but you are free to interact with it if you wish. If you've got activities, please do. It's up to you. If I see anything that we can discuss or any interesting questions, I'll keep them. But if you answer them along the way, absolutely fine. We'll have a few questions at the end, regardless. I'll stop
Great.
sharing my screen so that you can share yours, and I will see you in 30, 35, 40 minutes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here and for inviting me to this session. I don't know if you can confirm that you can see my screen.
Not yet, but let's see if it comes up.
Okay. I'll probably share it again. These things happen when one is live, so
Yeah, it's okay. Take your time.
with me a moment,
Yep, it's starting to.
and please let me know. There we are.
Yep, perfect. We
Okay.
can see it.
Great. Okay. So if you're a little confused and you don't know where I am, that is me in the crowd, and I'm happy to be here on this session. So it's my first time participating here at the Global Teachers Festival this year, the 2026, and I'm very happy to share a few ideas and thoughts based on my experience. So, what does being a humanist leader mean? Uh, I think I think it's important to understand that in these artificial intelligence and generative artificial intelligence times, we need to remember that we are still human and that we are working with humans. And we need to also remember that people should come first. So let's not forget about that and join me in my journey today. So I've prepared my presentation as a journey. So come along and follow me. So the first stop for our journey, our trip is how did I get here as a leader? You know, what happened? Then we'll move on to our next stop, which is the concepts and the tools that I learned and that I also um, had the opportunity to use. And then our next stop would be our personal experience content. So after 30 years of teaching and dealing with people, I've come to understand a few things that I would like to share with you and why I consider my my leadership style as a humanist. So the last stop in our destination would be non-stop improvement, because leaders are never perfect, okay? There's always room for improvement. So let's begin then. And I would like to first try to understand how is it that I became a leader. Uh, I think I kind of know the answer. So it might have been first by accident, and then obviously life, destiny did their own thing. So what is it then that made me be here? So life put me in a different context whenever I changed jobs, uh, both personal and professional context, where I either consciously or unconsciously decided to take on some responsibilities. I showed some type of leadership skills, which in a way let my previous leaders know that I looked like a potential leader. So I ended up taking the lead in projects or tasks that some people didn't want, and because there were no other volunteers. So that's how sometimes you end up being a leader. You know, when nobody else wants to volunteer or raise their hands, sometimes you say, okay, I'll do it. And that's how the story begins. And then in a more conscious way, I was officially named or assigned the role of a coordinator at a school. I took on some responsibilities with certain teachers. Then I became a director, and then I became the person in charge of a significant group of people. So because I showed positive results, because my way of convincing people to do things and to accompany them also helped me become a better leader. And as you may imagine, when you have taken on some responsibilities, you have done coordination, and you have also become responsible for other people, then you realize that you've become all of a sudden a leader. And I have a question for you, and I would like, if possible, for you to try to answer very quickly in the chat room. How did you end up being a leader if you were one? So I'll just give a few moments for people to type in some answers. So think about your experience. How did you end up being a leader? In my case, I became a leader accidentally. I didn't plan it. Thank you. Same as you, same as me. Thank you. Yes, some people just take over and say, you know, I'll do it. That's right. Interesting. You know, a lot of people that are typing became accidental leaders. I think it's very strange to run into people who definitely plan to become leaders or want to be leaders, how often do you hear people say, no, I would like to be a leader, or, leadership is my thing. So interesting answers here. Over 20 years of experience. Yeah, accidentally. It's interesting, how we share this background, taking on challenges. Yes, interesting. Uh, and gaining trust. That's definitely really what gives other the confidence that you will perform well. Performance, definitely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your answers. And then I would like us to um, move on to our next stop, if you remember, concepts. So when I was going through this process, I needed to understand some concepts. First, the concept of leadership. So leadership for me is basically the ability to motivate, to um, invite and convince people, but more importantly, to accompany people to accomplish common goals in a very human or humanist way. What do I mean by that? That leadership for me is not a title. It doesn't give me the right to do what I want, but instead it gives me a lot of responsibility. So I had to understand what leadership was first. And then I also became interested in understanding what kind of leadership style I had. So I did some research, I attended some workshops as well. And I'll be using for today's session Goldman's classification or concepts. So the first type of leadership that I would like to address is commanding. So if you uh, have a chance to remember those times when your leaders asked you to do things that were not negotiable, you basically had to meet deadlines, you had to basically give results. So that's the type of leadership that sometimes we have to apply. Where in other situations, I had a more visionary leadership. In what context? When I was doing the onboarding process, when I was meeting new people, when new staff members joined the team, and I had to let them know exactly where we were going to and why we were doing things and what for we were doing things. In other situations, however, I try to establish or build emotional bonds because it was necessary to build trust. Okay. So if people agree and commit, then things happen. And one of my favorite ones is the democratic leadership. Whenever possible, I like to discuss certain issues or give some proposals to my team members because I believe in consensus. Whenever it's possible, I go for consensus because people feel committed when they participate and when they are heard and taken into account. And other times, I remember that I tell my team members, my colleagues, remember that we are reaching for excellence. I believe in the best version of yourselves. So I believe that we can always do things better. There's always room for improvement. And finally, I don't know if it's happened to you, but leadership also takes you to coaching. Sometimes you end up being a psychologist, sometimes you become a therapist or counselor, and that's part of our job. But I think what's important here is to remember that a leader's main responsibility is to prepare the talent of the future. Why? Because we think that we are indispensable and we should not be indispensable. We need to prepare others to come after us and really to be in our place. So I remember this very good leader of mine who said once that a successful leader is the one that prepares the next person to be in his or her place. So don't be afraid if you are preparing people for other departments, for other areas. Feel proud and take credit of that because people need also greater opportunities and they have the right to grow. So it is our job as leaders to help them grow and to be offered better opportunities. So we understand leadership, the types of leadership, and do not forget that we are looking for a humanist approach. Why humanist? Because we need to remember that we're dealing with people and we need to put people in the center. Everything needs to go around them. We need to take care of people. If people feel that they're taken care of, you don't know the kind of results that you can get. Because if you remember, humans are emotional and people need to feel that they have made significant contributions and they have shown their best version. So I have a question for you before we move on. So do you happen to know what type of leader you are? Based on the classification and the concepts that I just presented, could you think of a combination of any of these 6 types of leadership? Okay, thank you, coach, counselor. Excellent. Thank you, democratic. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you have to be non-democratic, but not to the point where you're authoritarian. Coaching, I like that combination. Yeah, commanding, coach, great. I like the fact that you are mixing flexibility, but at the same time, making sure that things get done. Democratic, thank you. That's a lot. Affiliative, excellent. A mixture of all, great. I think that the type of leadership that you need depends a lot on the type of situation you're facing at the moment. So there's nothing wrong with having a combination of all, a mix of all. Affiliative coaching, excellent. So if you don't know exactly what type of leadership you tend to demonstrate or show, I would definitely suggest you take a good leadership styled test or quiz so that you can find out. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for your answers. I'm very happy to read that most people go for coaching. I think that's very, very important. Thank you. Thank you for your answers. So let's move on. Here's the reference, from Goldman, who's very well known for his emotional intelligence concepts and books around the world. So the kinds of tools that I've used for all these 30 years basically are the following. Self-awareness. I needed to understand that I was a leader. Whether I liked it or not, I became a leader. Accidentally first, but then consciously. So as I said earlier, I needed to understand the type of style that I had or styles I had. So I decided to go for a good leadership test. And then I complemented my training with emotional intelligence. It helps a lot to understand how people behave. And sometimes people come to work with certain emotions. We usually ask people to complete tasks, to do things, but sometimes we forget the kind of emotional load that they bring with them every morning. Yeah. So it's important to understand that we need to understand how humans work, how we humans work. So I decided to go for workshops on emotional intelligence, leadership styles, and attend conferences. I've also watched a couple of TED Talks from interesting leaders that I consider very successful. I also like to do this exercise every 6 months or every year when it comes to evaluating performance or assessing performance. So I like to go for a 360-degree evaluation. What does that mean? That I ask my leaders, I ask my colleagues, and I ask the people that report to me what I can improve as a leader. So I need to be open and ready to hear lots of things and to be very critical about it. So my golden rule is I will only listen and thank for everything that they have to say. I won't reply, I won't say a thing. And it's a very healthy exercise because it keeps me up to date. It gives me an idea of people's perception, and if I'm doing a good job or not. Maybe I need to change my direction. So this is a risky thing. Not many people are willing to do it, but I definitely love doing this. And I also do a lot of feedback sessions. Feedback is important. If you don't talk to your people, if you don't tell them how you feel, if things are going well, if you feel okay with the amount of work you're doing, we need to establish this important communication channel. And this happens at feedback sessions. So I love to have feedback sessions because they tell me whether I'm going in the right direction or not. Yeah. And informal observations. This happens every day. I've become a better observer of myself first, to observe how I am as a leader, how my leaders are when they interact with me, and how I interact with my leaders. And also, I ask my colleagues, I observe my colleagues, what is it that they do that I can learn from? Because some people may say, yeah, but, your colleagues are not necessarily leaders. Yes, everyone can be a leader, not necessarily the best leaders, but to a certain extent, we have all the potential to be leaders. And I also look at my supervisees, and I observe if what I'm doing is okay. And not that I ask for their validation, but I try to understand if they are feeling comfortable with what I ask them to do. So, question time. What other tools have you used? Could you share those with me, please? I'll be happy to read your comments here in the chat room. So help me understand the types of tools that you use or that you have used to become better leaders. Questionnaires. Okay, yes, I would suggest anonymous questionnaires. So if you have established a very good communication channel, you should not really go for anonymous questionnaires. 360 evaluation, excellent. Feedback, definitely. Informal observations, great. Listen, active listening is great. Self-awareness, yes, teams, meetings here, and attending workshops, conferences, excellent. Active listening, retreats, excellent as well. Sometimes people believe that leaders are made because of the work they do with others, but they don't remember that being a leader starts with yourself. So meetings, feedback sessions, active listening, and real and genuine listening, it's just not hearing. Communication, thank you. Observations, creative, excellent. Thank you. Thank you for sharing personal interviews. Yeah, we need to be very open and very critical about ourselves if we want to improve. So I would like to share my personal experience with you. What is it that I've done and how I would describe my leadership? Well, first, I would say that my leadership style is a combination of the following elements. First, I put people in the center. People come first. And I have gotten this from my leaders, and they have put me in the center. So if they do that with me, why shouldn't I do the same? Then a mix of Goldman styles, depending on the situations that I faced, because you are always involved in different situations with different people, and people have different emotions at different times. So I enjoy working with people to give positive results. So people sometimes are very critical about themselves. They say that we are even the worst judges because we criticize ourselves in a very, I would say, rough way. So we need to be a little bit flexible as well. We're human, remember that. I enjoy working also with people to align goals. And when nothing happens, or when I see that things are not going in the same direction, I make a pause and then I have a conversation, quick chat. What's going on? Is everything okay? I would like you to focus and channel your energy, your time into things that really, really matter. Okay. I like to create and reinforce emotional bonds. I'm dealing with people, with humans, and I believe that as long as we understand each other, I need to remember that humans are very productive as long as they feel safe and that they feel taken care of. I like to take some decisions democratically, asking people what they think. I run by them, some ideas. So what do you think? Is it a good move? Is this a good idea? In the end, I'll probably be the one making the decision. But at least I can see that people were involved and genuinely involved, and that they sometimes have a vote, not just a voice. Okay. I like to accompany because I feel that leaders' jobs is accompany people to obtain better results. What is it that you really need? How can I help you? My job is to help you do a better job for you. So the results are our results. A leader always speaks in plural. It's us, not I. So I think it's important to change the way we express ourselves, and we say our team, my team. We get there together. It's just not my job. I do my job, but my job is to make sure that you do your job the best way you can. So I strongly believe that developing talent for the future is extremely important. Some people may feel a little threatened because we are preparing our substitute, but you won't believe how grateful people are when they understand that you are helping them to become leaders. And don't be afraid if they ask you, uh, would you be interested in my position? Why not? You know? Um, so the incorporation of the best practices and the not so good practices of my previous leaders have made me the leader I am today. So I've learned from the best ones, but I've learned also from the not so good ones. And every opportunity that I've had has given me the chance to say the type of leader I want to be or that I don't want to be. Yeah. So I would say that sometimes we misinterpret the term "we" as a team, but you really need to prove it with actions. Okay, it's just not in speech. It's really to do things together. At least I can speak for myself in this case, that I always speak for my team results. Okay, so our next quick question is: how do you define your own leadership style? So if you could help me a little bit with this in the chat room. Leadership skills make others work faithfully. Definitely. Yeah. Supportive. Thank you. That's really important. It's not just to say, I'll give you a hand, but to actually do it. If you give people the opportunity to see that you are interested, that you do things, that you set deadlines, and you say how I can help you to do this, if I can tell you how much I care about you, thank you for the support. People really care about you as well as a human being inspiring, caring. Thank you. Open dialogue, definitely, and open to listen. Attentive listening, supporting, being caring, excellent. Creating emotional bonds, adaptive and flexible, definitely. Open-minded, yes. Encouraging, a mix of them. Thank you for sharing them. Investing in others, yes, definitely. That's the best investment. Investing in people, in human beings. So I'm moving to our last stop, our destination. So the non-stop improvement. My pieces of advice for today is lead congruently. Actions speak better than words. And if you lead by the example, then no one's going to come and question you. I would say that assertive and effective leaders always keep trying. They never get discouraged. Some people may not be on the same boat. You sometimes feel that they are rowing the boat into the opposite direction. Don't be discouraged. Not everyone thinks the same way we think. Become a great observer. Observe others to become a better leader. Adapt your leadership. Be flexible. You don't have to be one particular style. You can be a combination of all styles. But make sure that you understand the type of leadership that you are using at a specific moment. Respect, yeah. So leadership begins first within ourselves. How am I as a leader? How do I interact with my leaders? How do leaders interact with me? How do I interact with others? And how do I interact with the people under my supervision? So leadership goes into different directions, okay? From the inside out, looking up, looking sideways, and looking down. Express gratitude. Be grateful. Always, always think of a learning opportunity when you fail. Failure means growth. It's difficult to deal with failure, but definitely it gives you an opportunity for growth. Yeah. And a humanist leader earns authority and respect when they lead by example. There's no other better way to teach others or tell them what to do when you're actually doing it and when you accompany them when doing it. So lead by example and make sure that you remember that you are human. Yeah, don't be threatened or overwhelmed by artificial intelligence and generative artificial intelligence. Humans are really people who make a difference in organizations. Artificial intelligence is great, but humans created artificial intelligence. Don't forget about that. I don't have anything against artificial intelligence, but I believe that if we put people in the center, we could always make a great difference. So thank you for having me today. This is the experience I wanted to share with you. And if you would like to contact me or maybe just have any further comments, please feel free to contact me. My address is right on the screen. And I want to thank you for being so grateful and so participative here in our session today with great ideas. So I'm ready for any more comments or questions that you may have here in the chat room. So thank you very much. Thank you, Nathan.
Arturo, thanks so much. What an interesting talk, and it definitely resonates with the audience just by watching the kind of chat and the interaction with the chat and seeing this kind of flurry of emojis coming on the screen. I think
Yes, yeah, that's great.
it definitely these ideas are definitely resonating a lot with the attendees that we've had today, and an interesting look. And it's really nice for you to share that kind of personal experience. Your journey and the things that you've learned, and really reflecting on that. It's been really lovely to see. There are a couple of questions, so I think we've got a few minutes. We can definitely I think have a follow-up discussion. So I mean I agree with a lot of what you say. Leaders are the ones that set the culture. I love this stuff around kind of the fact that leaders should model what they want their teams to do within in an educational space within the classroom for us as teachers. And I think I know, I mean, I've been in education for a long time. I've seen lots of teacher training sessions, that would, which preach one thing on the slide, but it's not
Yes.
but it's not presented to us as teachers in the same way that they're like, we need to not lecture our students, and then the teacher training session is done in a lecture format, and this kind of thing. There can sometimes be a bit of an imbalance there, I think. So leaders can definitely help, I think, in terms of making it more, I think, inclusive, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about
Definitely.
that context of modeling, I mean, inclusion is about breaking down barriers, right? So we want to break down students' barriers and help them overcome them. But actually, the leader's job is to find out what teachers' barriers are, not just barriers to delivering the content, but all of those other barriers as well. What teachers go through, the difficulties they're facing, the anxieties that they have, because it's different depending on where you are in the world, right?
And it's interesting, Nathan, how sometimes we as teachers we don't perceive ourselves as leaders, because once we are in the classroom, we are leading the session. We are leaders. We also should set by example. And we're not just leaders when we're teaching. We are also leaders at home, with our families and on our households. So leadership doesn't really mean leadership at work. It's, I would say, leadership in life, for personal and professional contexts. So being a leader doesn't necessarily mean being in charge of people, but it also means, being inspiration for others, and also making sure that others see what you do, and regardless of what you say, as many people say, do as I do and not as I say. So
Yeah.
I think example really is the key.
Yeah. So there is one question around, because I mean context is definitely important here. I mean there are definitely different approaches to workplace cultures in different parts of the world. I mean I've worked in Europe. I'm here based in Dubai, so I'm in the GCC. I've worked in Asia. I've definitely seen different types of management approaches, different ways that culture influences hierarchies within a workplace. So, I mean, in your experience, I mean, the question that somebody's asked is around feedback. I guess I'm trying to pad that out a little bit because they're saying that sometimes people don't feel that comfortable giving feedback to a leader because they fear of repercussions, this type of thing. But in certain cultures, hierarchy is really important. I mean,
Yes.
have you had that? Have you? I mean, in the Mexican context, I've not worked in the Mexican context, so I'm
Yes,
not.
some people are very sensitive about receiving feedback. And when my leaders have asked me honestly when they're really looking for an honest answer, I always tell them, so I'll tell you what I think, what I feel, and it may not necessarily be what you want to hear. So I hope this is not shocking. I'm going to be very respectful, as objective and neutral as possible. But if you have opened the door and if you have given me the chance to be honest, then I would be willing to tell you what I think. So I think it depends a lot on the genuine interest of your leader to hear what you have to say to them. In my case, I've had leaders who say, I have an open door policy, but the problem is that no one is willing to actually, walk into the room and really say something. So even the door is open, many people they feel threatened or scared. It happened to me. So I don't really go for that open door policy. I say, I'm a click away if you really need to have a conversation, to, have a video conference, and let's talk about what you are going through at the moment. So in a way, I would say that if you build an honest and transparent communication channel, then people would feel honest and willing to tell you what they really think, and and uh, and that's the base of the basis of growth, because sometimes we ask people to tell us what they think, but we're not ready, to receive that kind of feedback. So we need to be trained to do that, and we also need to take training to provide neutral, constructive, and positive feedback, because we're dealing with people's lives, and obviously we all want to feel positive about what we do, but it depends a lot on how we say it. So I think that's where we can still learn a lot from others, on learning how to give productive, constructive, but honest feedback.
Yeah, I think it's a very, you answered it very well. Yeah, this idea that um, an open door policy is not necessarily open. There are other, I guess, barriers, invisible barriers that can be perceptive to the team that we're working with. But I mean, you touched on, I think, a really a key point, and it's actually echoing what Nour was saying in the first. She was saying about it from the perspective of students and parents. But
Yeah,
actually, this key word is trust, right? Over time, you build trust with the team that you're working with. Then that breaks down those barriers continuously, and consistency, I guess, is a key part of that, right?
yeah,
Which
yeah,
okay, and we've still got time, so I'm going to ask one
yeah.
more question.
Yes, there's someone here that if I could be contacted for a topic, leadership related topic for a PhD, excellent. Yes, feel free. I'd be happy to contribute. My experience is significant when it becomes valuable to others. So definitely, yes, I'll be happy to help others. People have helped me, so why shouldn't I help others?
Yeah. This is what I like about education. We're a team, right? Doesn't matter where you are. And this is why these global teachers festivals are amazing. All these people from all over the world come together, and you all feel like this kind of community. You feel like this one team that and little bits resonate with different people. People will take ideas. Some people will reflect on their own experiences. Some people will find a resource or they'll get some advice, which I think is great. Okay, there's a little bit of a challenging question that I'm going to ask here.
Okay.
There has just mentioned bureaucracy. Saw somebody quite far up the chat also was kind of mentioning the difficulties of the decision-making process when you're in a leadership position. There
Yes.
are there are instances when you need to balance, the team, their needs, the trust that you're building with them, with difficult decisions that they need to be made.
Yes.
They need to be made quickly. I'll just leave it open to you because it's a difficult question, but how do you
Yeah.
balance that? Sometimes you have to do things that people don't like.
Yes. Yeah. What I've done to answer the question is I've always believed in being transparent. So as long as you tell people really the reasons why the decision needs to be made, they may not be happy with it, but they may understand, where the decision comes from. And once they understand the whys, then they understand that the decision has to be made whether you like it or not. But once you understand the reason, I would say that you become a little bit more flexible. I'm not talking about being happy or that is the best solution or the best decision, but at least you understand why people are doing things. I think very often I've heard people saying somebody up at the company decided to do that, and we don't take responsibility for certain things. I think that when we present a difficult decision to a group, especially if there's someone there who's going to be directly or sometimes indirectly affected, I think it's important to tell them exactly where the decision comes from, and that there might be negative implications, but people need to know. So once you feel that people are being honest. And when you hide things from people, people believe that it becomes something personal, or that there's always kind of a hidden agenda, and people really don't trust you. So I strongly believe that once you build trust and once you are transparent to your team members will support you, even if it's a difficult decision.
Yeah. Again, well answered question. And someone's put there, yeah, arrogance, thoughts, true progress. And it goes back to
Yeah.
what you said earlier in your actual talk about democratic processes, right? So
Yes.
a lot of the negativity from difficult decisions quite often comes from either hiding them or making those decisions too late. People weren't involved in them in
Yeah.
the first. So yeah, I totally agree. The more
Yeah.
people are involved, the more agency they have, and the more agency they
Yes.
develop, the more they're empowered, the more they're involved, the more they feed back to you, and hopefully the more that those things are planned against, I guess, within strategy. They don't have to become a last minute negative decision.
Yes.
Break those things down.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll answer.
Somebody was just asking, what do we do with difficult people? When I deal with difficult people, I sit down and I'm very straightforward. And I say, these are the things that need to be done. And these are the reasons why. And let me know how I can help you get them done, and I go along with the process. So it's not just a matter of saying you have to do this, but as I said earlier, if I get involved, if I set a deadline, and if I tell you, I'll be checking with you how you feel about this and what your progress is, I'm sure things will get done. Attitude is one thing. We won't be able to change people's personalities, but we can change attitude.
Yeah, for
So
sure. Yeah.
sometimes you have to have, the necessary elements to tell someone, you know what, maybe you're not the right person that we need for this project, and it's a difficult decision, but they need to understand why. So as
Yeah.
long as you understand the whys, then people have always a choice, to decide whether I want to do it or I don't want to do it. But you had the information before.
For you as the leader, yeah, you're coming at it from the perspective of I want you to thrive. This is where you're
Yes,
right.
that's right.
Arturo, it was fantastic. Thank you so much, and thanks for
Thank
the
you.
great discussion. I will leave you to rest because I know you have another session this afternoon.
Yes, later on.
I'll just ask
Yeah.
you to screen sharing. Again, an outpouring of love for you in both the chat and in the little emojis, which I love seeing come up the screen. It's so
Thank
much
you.
fun.
Thank you, everyone, for having me today here.
Enjoy the
It
afternoon
was a pleasure.
session. Thanks so much again.
Likewise. Okay.
For the last
Bye-bye.
60 seconds, I need to share my screen. Here we go. Hopefully you're still with me. Thank you so much, everybody, for sticking with us this evening. And the chat box is whizzing by so fast I can't even keep up. We've done a recharge break. We saw Nour. If you joined a little bit late, we flipped the sessions this afternoon because of some technical difficulties. We had Nour in the first session and Arturo in the second session. But you will get the slides and you will get the certificate. You will get your virtual goodie bag and the recording all in your email, which will come within 2 weeks. So keep an eye on your spam, keep an eye on your emails that you registered with, that you're connected with Zoom, and you will get that email in a couple of weeks. We are going to take a break for the weekend, have a little breather, and we are going to be back for week 2 on Monday. And the theme for Monday's Global Teachers Festival is all around agency. So hopefully you've registered for that and you've got your links to attend on Monday. We're going to be joined by Matthew and by Michelle. And I'm going to leave you with this question. And you don't necessarily need to be in a leadership position. You don't need to be the head of a school to answer this. Even if you are a classroom teacher, as mentioned, you are a leader. Even if you are a parent at home, you are a leader. Do you consider yourself a humanist teacher after everything you've seen and learned today? A little bit, yes, definitely. Good. I'm glad that you do. Reflect on this. Keep thinking about all of those discussion points. No matter how good we are at being a humanist leader, we can always improve, I'm sure. That's it for today. Thank you for joining us again at the Global Teachers Festival. Always wonderful to see you all. I will be back hosting on Wednesday next week, but please come on Monday and Tuesday as well and see all the wonderful sessions. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend. If you're staying up late to watch the evening session, I hope you enjoy it. And we'll see you all on Monday. Take care, everybody. And from the Global Teachers Festival, have a wonderful weekend.